It is the RIOT on RadioU. Hi, how you doing?
Podcast time.
This is our podcast. It's where we come and do the podcast.
Actually, I remembered from yesterday when we talked about where were my keys during this podcast intro. I put them in the trash in our break room. So thankfully I found them.
I've thrown my keys away before.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I didn't throw anything else away.
Just your keys?
Well, if not, maybe I had them in my hand and maybe they fell out or something. Because a lot of times I put them in my pocket, but I'll leave the keys hanging out of my pocket.
Yeah.
But if not, I unintentionally threw them away and I found them.
There are lots of times when I'll do things like I've got something in my hand to eat and then something to throw away, and I'll throw away what I was going to eat or something like that. And every time I do that, I just think this is why I'm not an athlete, because I can't tell which hand to do which function.
Oh, that reminds me, too. We have those bagels in the back freezer.
What?
They're back there. Yeah.
Only now we speak of this?
Only now. I forgot earlier this morning. So we've got these New York-style bagels.
Tomorrow,
they're amazing.
we're eating those.
And they're
Tomorrow,
in the back.
We got to do that. Oh, my gosh. They're so good.
You guys just get to hear about all the stuff. That's because you're special with podcast listeners.
Yes. So maybe I saved too much today. I don't know. There's a lot of podcasts here. We talk a lot about delays, including Tenet, The Falcon and the Snowman. No, Falcon and Winter Soldier, stuff like that.
No, I like Falcon and the Snowman.
That's a movie.
Is it?
That was an old movie with Sean Penn, in which I believe he is a captured spy.
Oh, so it's not like a Christmas thing? Never mind.
Oh, wait, here we go. I'm looking it up. 1985 film. It's a true story of friendship and espionage, and tells the story of two young American men who sold U.S. security secrets to the Soviet Union.
See, in my mind, it was a story of two young, one a snowman and one a falcon. And they meet, and the falcon likes to sit on the shoulder of the snowman, but then he melts when winter's over.
And so he misses him?
He loses his friend, but then at the very end, when you think, there's no hope, the snowman appears again because it's winter again. So they can be friends every winter.
That's right. I'll be back again someday.
Exactly. So,
okay.
All right. Well, podcast again. We did talk about that.
We talk about Japanese baths, Keanu Reeves writing a comic books, a hard right turn about donuts and how to get them, and questioning first things. Text messages about the Switch.
That's what we're saying.
Stuff. And we do a long run on streaming.
Make sure you say hello. You can text us anytime. Even if we're not in the studio, we'll just get back to you next time we're in. If you text 877 to RadioU, put you're a podcast listener and your name. Or you can message us and say hello. You should follow us at Facebook. That's at our RadioU Riot Facebook page.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful whatever today is.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the Riot on RadioU.
It was, like I said, a week, maybe 2 weeks ago that I made a statement that is obviously correct. And just for once in my life, maybe twice. I mean, it's probably happened before, but I was right.
You were right? What are you right about?
I said that Tenet wasn't coming out this year.
Yeah. Is that the case?
Warner Brothers announced yesterday afternoon, last night sometime, they have indefinitely delayed Tenet. That is the new Christopher Nolan movie. It made all the press because it was going to be out. Actually, I think it was supposed to be out this Friday.
You might not even have been interested in seeing it, but it was the one movie that the movie industry held up as the one that would be there as the first when movie theaters opened.
Right.
So going back several months, it was always the Tenet's going to be the first one out the gate.
It's the big one.
They refused to release it earlier on demand. They didn't want to do it. They made a big thing about it has to be in movie theaters. And that's why it wasn't even released earlier in springtime and stuff.
And some of that could be Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
He's hardcore. He shoots on film. He loves movie theaters and film.
And he was adamant about that. And so it was like, all right, Tenet's going to come out. And then Tenet was like pushed back by like 2 weeks.
Yep.
But it was like, Tenet's still coming out.
Still happening.
Still happening. And everybody's like, oh, that's going to be the first movie back. We're going back to theaters. And now it's an indefinite, or what does that mean?
That means that they have not given it a release date.
But it's not going to be this year?
I'm saying no. I think it'll be next year. I think we'll be lucky to see it by next summer.
Will we get any movies this year? Probably not.
I would say there's a high likelihood that we will not get a lot of the movies. I'll
say
tell you
that so then you can be right again.
So Bill and Ted 3,
Yeah.
I'll bet that goes on demand.
So when was that supposed to be out?
August.
August.
Like second or third week of August.
Then weren't we supposed to have Mulan when it was pushed? And there's
That
Wonder
has
Woman.
also been, as I understand it, Mulan has also been indefinitely postponed, just like Black Widow.
Yeah,
where they're
okay.
like, yeah, we made them.
They're just tired of pushing a new date on it because they don't want to figure it out again.
At some point, I'll bet Mulan goes to
Disney Plus. Come on.
I bet it does, because I think at some point we're going to start seeing some of these streaming services start to get a little more desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney put Hamilton on this summer. That was supposed to be next summer.
Well, everybody thinks Disney's a money machine. Disney is a money machine, but
it's your money.
It's your money, and they need to constantly be sending out so many things so often to keep the brand up, to continue like their profits and stuff. And they were
Right.
saying, especially with Mulan and Black Widow, the problem was they spent so much money on those movies.
Yeah.
They spent money on the advertising, so it doesn't match up for when it's indefinitely put on hold. Especially with Mulan, they were saying that might just be more worth their money if they just put it on Disney Plus.
We'll
Or
see.
they did. What did Onward do? Onward did a couple weeks where you could buy it, or 1 week where you could buy it.
Yes.
And then they put it on Disney Plus.
So they tried to make a little extra money on it.
A little bit, and then, again, builds the brand.
They did the same thing with the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. That was they put that out to buy, and then they put it on Disney Plus like months earlier. It was supposed to be like
earlier.
6 months, and they brought it in earlier. So
Never going back to movies this year.
Maybe,
but probably not.
But have you noticed the difference in the tone? Like, for a long time, we were all like, well, we'll be back to everything. I felt like we all had this thought, like, once school starts in the fall,
Yeah.
everything's going to settle down. And now that the fall is getting here, we're just like, it's Thunderdome. It's just insanity.
I feel like we're tired also, just like, movie studios. We're tired of thinking and putting, for us, a date that things might be more normal. So we're just indefinitely not going to say anything anymore. We're just like, what movies? If it comes out, it comes out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. What movies?
I'll just tell you that over the next week, we're gonna have this conversation a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Because if Tenet has just done this, it's coming.
So Tenet is indefinitely on hold. It's not coming out right now, anytime soon. That was the new Christopher Nolan movie. I know we really wanted to see it.
I wanted to go to the movies.
Okay, he was really excited. He was all ready to go.
I wanted to go, guys. I was ready. I'm still ready. I'll wear a mask to the movies. I wasn't going to eat their snacks
Anyways.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
Couple things that you may be hearing about today. Nikki Kanye West is showing up at 2% in a recent presidential poll. So that's something. That puts him tied with Jorgensen, the libertarian.
The libertarian, okay.
Who is also at 2%.
Okay.
We've also got a Florida teachers union. They're suing the governor, saying it's unsafe to open. Now, I looked at this. The CDC, the CDC says, hey, with all this testing you're doing, if your state is testing at 10% positive. Now, they don't mean the whole state, but they mean like if 10% of the people testing, if they get
a positive result,
that means we can still open schools. Florida's at 19% right now.
Okay.
So congratulations to them. And I also see that they're working on a new stimulus package. And do you know why they're rushing? I was like, oh, it's because the election. No. Congress is in recess in August. I know.
So
I know.
bad.
They're
not rushing for anyone else's benefit. That's how that goes.
Oh my gosh. So, and also in the middle of all of this, the big chat in the sports world, aside from Major League Baseball, is the NFL. So the NFL is still trying to
figure it out.
They say they're coming back this fall, but they're really trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Basically. And so their latest offering is that they're telling the Players Association, hey, how about we cut all the preseason games?
That's a good idea.
So what's preseason usually starts in August, right?
I feel like it does. I feel like we're getting close to it.
Because I feel like we usually see preseason about the time college football starts up. And so they're saying that preseason games would end up being cut.
Usually August 6th.
That soon?
Looks like it says, yeah.
And see, I'm not an NFL guy, but it kind of blows my mind. But they're trying to. This is not official. There's just a report that's come out of ESPN. Adam Schefter over there is saying that, yeah. Word on the street is they'll cut the preseason stuff and just play the season.
That's similar to a lot of school districts that are like backing things up. Like they're still wanting to do everything, but they're just not opening things, so they're shifting it. So maybe with NFL football, they need a few more weeks.
I'll just tell you right now,
they need to figure it out.
What's happening with everybody is they're basically doing what I do when I have to write a paper. I'm like, you know what? We're going to do this weekend, and that's going to be the perfect time for that.
Yes, you're just pushing it
during
off.
The weekend.
Yeah.
And then on the weekend, I'm like, the best time to start this is going to be on Monday. That'll be perfect. And then on Monday, nothing looks better than a Thursday evening.
Well, you can't start something on a Monday. That's not
crazy.
fair.
There's all the pressure of the week.
You're right. That's absolutely not fair. And, NFL, just push that aside too, but like, why is college football so... The teams that we want to hear about, why are they being so silent? We want to know.
You don't hear much, do you?
It is very quiet because, again, they're just trying to, I feel like, wait for someone else to come out with their plan, and then they'll do it.
And they can just grab that one.
Yeah, like one team will announce their stuff, and then the rest follow.
Yeah, we're doing that too.
Everybody's waiting for someone else to say, what's the plan for this fall?
We're doing that too.
Not today, though, because, again, we're pushing it off.
Well, Nikki, it's Tuesday. I mean, you're practically at the middle of the week. I wouldn't want to start anything on a Tuesday. No way.
So I'm sure we'll hear something more later.
Eventually.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on RadioU.
How would you like to have a nice apartment in London?
Doesn't that sound nice?
Doesn't it sound wonderful?
An exciting city to live in.
Now, there's one thing, like it's not going to be a larger apartment. I believe living in London is a lot like living in New York City.
Oh, it's very expensive.
Incredibly expensive. There's not a lot of, stuff.
Affordable living, you mean?
Mm-hmm. And Nikki, right now, I'm looking at an apartment that just opened up. It's going to cost about $253,000.
To buy it or for what?
No, I believe it's for sale.
Oh, for sale. Okay.
I don't know what kind of association dues that you'll have after that. It is 79 square feet.
Oh my gosh, that's so small.
But Nikki, it puts you right.
Are these the pictures?
Yes.
Wow, that is so small. The shower is probably the biggest thing. That's a pretty big shower.
Well, I mean, there's the bed.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the bed is so small. There's a sink in the middle. There's a shower. It's all in just one square. Like it basically feels like a bedroom, and they put it all in one bedroom.
Yeah. Is that a water closet over there?
You mean the toilet? I don't know. It's probably also your actual closet. It's the toilet and your closet.
That's the only thing that I don't see.
It's in there. Or if not, it's probably outside in the hallway.
No. You see the shot from the bed, and it looks like there's a closet. That closet is the toilet. Yeah.
Well, that looks small too, doesn't it?
Well, that's something. It looks like it might have a heater.
Here we go. It's cozy. Very cozy.
It is.
And you'll do whatever to live in the city.
How? Don't you want to? Like, isn't that your dream?
That's your dream, and you got to start with something, right? 79 square feet. Wow. It's tiny. Even in shots, when they like photograph apartments or condos and they try to make it look bigger, real wide shots, real way back in the corner, that doesn't even help this one.
No.
It still looks small.
No. And I mean, they have shot as wide an angle as possible.
I mean, if it was just you and you didn't really do much, like friends-wise or have a pet, and you're smaller. If you're petite, this is perfect for you.
I don't know. I mean, I think that you could live in this space.
Yeah, everybody says that just to get into a place, but this would be miserable after a while.
I'm not saying that you're going to like it. I'm just saying that, if you Like, is it possible to live in this space? Sure it is.
Yeah.
It
looks illegal, actually, is what it looks like.
She's not wrong.
It looks like they had bedrooms and they made each bedroom into an apartment. And I don't know if that's legal. I'm sure it's fine, but it just feels wrong.
Only $263,000, Nikki.
That is so much money for that.
Yeah, you're going to save so much on rent in the first 500 years, though.
Wow. I think you could actually, like, the showers right there, that it feels like the shower's like, oh, make that your living room also. Like, you're just sitting there.
Yeah, well, it's nice.
I don't know about this. This might be too much.
Okay. All right. It's an option.
I would always love to live in the countryside outside of London, where hopefully prices are cheaper.
Maybe we could get you a nice manor. Or the very least a cabin.
I want outside. I don't want these prices.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
Sometimes when you hang out with friends, you do stupid things together. Like, you're dumber together than you are on your own.
Well, no one's there to say no. Like, if you're really good friends, you normally don't say to your other friend, like, let's not do this.
No, that's what really good friends are for.
No, they go along with whatever you want to do because you band together and you just do it.
Well, that's what happened to me, 2 months ago, hanging out with some good friends. They were like, we're going on a cruise in January. You should go. And I was like, yes, I should.
Yes, I'm going. You've never been on a cruise before.
Never. So I just, we booked our cruise that day. That's how fast it happened. It was just like, okay.
We're going on a cruise.
I'm in.
Now,
Let's
your
do
cruise
it.
is supposed to be in January, so who knows what happens before then. But I did think it was funny because you said you were supposed to go, like, the cruise goes to the Bahamas.
Yeah, it does. And the Bahamas is closed.
The Bahamas is closed to international travel. So tourism, cruise ships, airport, all that stuff. Ports have been closed to tourists from countries. It just depends on the country where you're coming from.
They said all airports and seaports, a.k.a. no one comes in.
That starts tomorrow, I believe. So that includes the United States, since that's the majority of tourists that come in.
So basically, if you are wanting to get to the Bahamas, you have today. And if you're wanting to leave, you have today. Because after that,
you're not
done.
A tourist anymore. You're staying there.
You're done. You're a citizen now, baby.
It's funny to see the numbers that lead to this, but they said that the country reported 15 new coronavirus cases on Sunday. So to us, that might not seem like a lot, but it's a small, it's a smaller island.
And that right there, it's an island. You think about the amount of things they have to ship in and just the way an island works a lot differently than, say, a continent.
Well, if you look at like Hawaii is very strict on their quarantine. You go into Hawaii, well, then guess what? You're going right to a hotel.
14 days.
And you're staying there for 14 days, and you're not staying in fun hotel. You're staying in the hotel room.
Right.
And they will watch you, and they'll send people to check on you.
They sure will.
So that's what the Bahamas announced starting tomorrow. It won't be forever. It's just for right now.
It's forever, guys.
You're never going to go to the Bahamas on vacation.
It's not just that, Nikki. It's that, and I don't want to upset anyone, but everything's canceled and no one's going anywhere ever. There, okay?
There, you said it.
Let's just instead of getting upset about it, let's just begin to embrace it.
Well, if you embrace it, and then when there is something, won't that be so much nicer?
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like, what a treat.
Wow.
But you weren't expecting it.
Right. Yes.
So either way, if you let's just say.
Oh, we're just saying.
Okay, we're just saying, not necessarily what we think is going to happen, but let's just say in January, things are still the same.
Okay.
Is your cruise thing like movable, or is it non-refundable, or do you know any of it?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
You know what? Just to be clear, no, I wasn't drinking.
The cruise, but it was so cheap that it was
crazy cheap. My friends were going, and I was just like, yes, let's all go together. So, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it's not like I'm out my life savings or something. It was literally a couple of $100.
Sure, but so I'm sure it moves to a different
It does.
A different month or something?
Whether they would cancel the cruise. But you know what? I'd get on a boat right now. Whatever.
You don't care?
Yeah, I just put my mask on. Because, I mean, remember when you were afraid of getting the norovirus on a cruise? Remember that? You're going to poop yourself into oblivion? Like, now it's like a whole new...
Why'd you say that?
What?
Why'd you say that?
I'm just saying. That was the fear.
That used to be the thing?
That used to be something we were concerned about. Now we were just like, whatever, let's go.
Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
All right, so I was a little slow about it, but last night I finally watched Greyhound.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's the new Tom Hanks submarine / battleship movie from World War II that is on Apple TV.
That's the one that was supposed to be in theaters. It started with its trailer stuff at the beginning of this year, and it looked pretty good. And then quarantine happened, and then we found out that Apple bought it.
Yeah, and you know what? It was good.
Is it?
Yeah, it was good. It is, I believe the word is taut, T-A-U-T, because it wastes no time.
Now, do you think that was the theater edit, or is this the Apple TV edit?
That's an interesting question. I would think that you would be more likely to be interested in something more long form at home, don't you think?
Possibly.
I mean, you can hit pause, go to the bathroom,
I don't know.
Snacks.
Sometimes you feel like if you go to the movie, you need something more epic, but you don't want to have to sit through maybe all that at home.
There is essentially one scene in the movie that does not take place on the boat. One scene. One. That's it. That's like, hey, this is all you need to know.
And is this the one you said Tom Hanks was really invested in that took a long time to make?
It was another one of his, he keeps highlighting kind of these American heroes of his, which I think is really, a lot of people maybe would want to do that, but not get an opportunity. But you think about just some of the characters that he has played that are, dramatic recreations of real people in many cases. And I guess this was kind of a passion project for him, though it seems to me like everything he does is some kind of a passion project.
True.
Maybe that's not entirely true. But
I never did see him as Mr. Rogers. I never did watch that yet.
I didn't either. I have almost watched it, but I'm just like, I'm out of tissues.
You can just watch the trailer, and I feel like I got everything.
You got everything you needed?
Oh, not with Greyhound, though. It was worth watching.
Yeah. Oh, I really enjoyed it. Though I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way.
No one will.
That doesn't seem like a movie that everybody would like that much. You know how you remember a discussion we had a while ago in which you and I discussed how so many of the metaphors we use are really nautical? Mm-hmm. Imagine.
We just don't know, in everyday life, you guys don't realize how everything goes back to a nautical term.
So much of what we say, so many metaphors that we use in conversation is nautical. And so Nikki and I were laughing about that, as we do in some of our snottier, more intellectual moments. And watching this movie, it's like, boy, I hope you've served on a naval vessel, because they do explain things, but you better be paying attention, because they don't have a character that's like, gee, Sarge, I'm new on the boat. What does that mean?
You're like, hey, Siri, just tell me what this means.
I mean, they just yell out.
Yeah, but I mean,
whatever's going on.
Yeah, but you'd be trained. You would know it by then. I'm sure there's testing. You must know those terms, and we just don't know them terms.
Some of them you would, but some of you wouldn't. The person I was watching it with last night had several questions, and I think it's really just from all the Battlestar Galactica and Star Trek. They rip off all their nautical terms, so I know them.
So that's why you know them.
Right.
Oh, that's funny.
So, I mean,
a ship's a ship, whether it's in water or in space.
It's actually kind of weird how much I knew, where I was like, oh, yeah, this, and this. And it's like, I'm not in the Navy. I've never done this before.
Well, that was worth watching just to realize that.
I guess it was. So it was totally worth it.
So that's the Greyhound movie with Tom Hanks that Apple TV put out.
Yeah.
I activated Siri when I said Siri. I said, hey you, so I don't activate it again.
Way to go, Nikki.
Did I activate anybody else's Siri?
Probably a lot of people's, actually.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
We think we might have found it, guys. Check this out.
Well, let's explain again.
All
You know,
right. Well-
when something gets postponed, as it's happening every day now,
It's very rare.
I feel like we need to have music that goes along with it.
We do. So here is our postponement music.
What do we think?
Oh, so now in NFL news. Now in
Slightly whimsical, but still very sad, dark.
Now in theater news. Now in all entertainment news.
I don't know. We might have to play around with it.
It just feels a little too
I think we have to just give it
point?
time. No, I think you have to give it time,
stuff.
which we have plenty of.
Because
Everything's
with all
postponed.
this postponement,
Yay! I want something darker.
you feel like it's not mean enough.
It's not mean enough. It's not darker enough.
Maybe I should just look into the It soundtrack and just go.
Actually, that's probably it. I think that's what we're really looking for.
Just straight up go to that. I need a scary clown song. That's what we want.
But yeah, we thought, there's just everything's postponed. We should have something that goes along with it.
Well, I have an actual postponement if you want it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was the, basically Captain America Marvel TV show that was coming to Disney Plus.
Oh, yes. Okay, now I remember it.
I didn't realize it was supposed to be this August.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, now I saw what you did there.
Nah.
It's supposed to be this August.
Nah.
When is it going to be?
We don't know.
Is it just because they haven't filmed some of it yet? Because, it's Disney Plus. It's not theaters.
They had to put a little hiatus.
Oh, so it's not ready yet?
Put it on hold.
Can't zoom it in?
No. Apparently not.
Apparently not with it.
So that's not happening.
Oh, everybody was looking forward to that.
Yeah, I forgot to look forward to it. So
Well.
it's not as disappointing. I went through the whole range of emotions in about 30 seconds. I was like, it's next month? Oh, it's postponed.
Well, I think it's hard because we had a lot of new stuff during quarantine, but we have to remember that was all filmed before all this stuff happened.
Right.
Now you're going to start running into things have not been filmed. So there's not going to be a lot of new stuff to fill the rest of the time up with.
I just keep finding myself thinking about how nice it was to be naive. Remember eating whatever you wanted and signing up for streaming service after service and just be like, it's only 2 weeks. We're good. I'm fine.
I remember going and stocking up on ice cream and doing all that.
Like we had to make sure there's enough ice cream to make it to the end.
Yeah, and then that was the 3 weeks, and then that was it.
Well,
it's a good time to go back and try to find some, things that you missed that you didn't get a chance to watch. Just fill in what we skipped over when things were busy.
yeah. Yeah, okay. Sounds nice. It's good. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
It's not happening.
Postponed!
Not happening next month.
Sorry. And when is it happening, though? No one knows.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
If you would, I can't speak to all Asian countries. I just know this to be mostly true of Japan. Like the traditional Japanese bath, you get clean before you take a bath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the bath is there for kind of relaxation and enjoyment. It's not there to get you clean. You get clean and then you take a bath.
And I don't think you don't take a bath in the morning. You take a bath later. And their baths are amazing. Their heat set, it just sets the heat. So all you do is just put a button, warms it to the temperature that you want. But then, you would shower and then get a bath.
Yeah. So I've got my friend who lives in Japan. He just bought a house and he took me on a FaceTime tour of it the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fun.
Which I thought was really cool. And, we were talking about traditional Japanese baths and stuff. And believe me, I'm 100% on board for that. But I'll have to say this. I feel like sometimes when we talk about having a relationship with God, we are trying to take a Japanese style bath. We're like, you know what? I'm maybe a little dirty. I'm a little this. I don't think I got to get my act together before I come
Wash
to
off
God.
first.
Yeah. You know what? That's actually not the way it works. God wants you as you are right now. Okay. You don't need to take a shower and then God. You don't need to soak for an hour and then God. God is ready to meet you where you are right now. No matter what you've done or what's been done to you. Hey, listen, Jesus will take you as you are right now. Is it true that a lot of times as you spend time with God, you change your ways, things get a little different, places where you're hurt, you get healed? Absolutely. But listen, you don't have to do that work on your own. Like, you just invite Jesus in right now, period. Like, just right here. Say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I know that I'm not perfect, but Jesus, I want you to take me as I am right now. And you know what? That's a great place to start. I know how it feels to feel like you've got to get cleaned up and then you can talk to God. I know how it feels, but it's wrong. Just letting you know, I was wrong, and so are you right now. So, let's not be wrong together anymore. Let's get some things right.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
That's Yo Man. Every time I see Keanu Reeves, that's just what I yell at Nikki. That's Yo Man.
I like Keanu Reeves and John Wick. I enjoy him a lot there. And like I always say, I think he seems like every time you hear something about him, it seems like he's a super nice guy.
I feel like Nikki objectifies him a little bit.
Why?
Because you're like, I like him in John Wick, but not other things.
No, I mean, I'm not a fan of some of his.
You're not really letting him be like a person.
Well, no, that would not even be John Wick. That's not how he is. That's not a real
further
person.
Objectifying him. Way to go, Nikki.
I guess I am.
He's just a slab of meat with a beard.
With a lot of guns and
beard.
And the dog, and it was just a great character.
And the dog. So it appears, Nikki, that Keanu Reeves is writing his own comic book.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, has he been into comic books this whole time?
Don't even know.
Are we learning something new about Keanu?
So we are, actually, that he is co-writing a limited 12-issue series called Berserker with Mark Lint. Alessandro Vitti is going to be doing the illustrating. And, you don't know who these people are. So I don't
I'm
either,
sorry,
by
is
the
he
way.
the character also in the comic book? Or
It seems like he might be. It looks like you could tell me that's his face and I'd believe it.
Sure, it does look a lot like him.
Here, let me give you a précis. The comic will follow a hyper-violent 80,000-year-old warrior whose father was a war god. Oh, okay. The immortal being has walked a blood-soaked path across the world for centuries, fighting in countless wars. Now the Berserker does dangerous jobs for the U.S. government in exchange for the truth about his existence.
And it's a 12-issue limited series?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So
where will this be at?
It's happening at Boom Studios.
No, I meant how does this comic book come out? Do we know?
I mean, I assume you could, get it wherever fine comic books are sold.
That's where I don't know. Where digitally will I be able to find Keanu Reeves' comic book?
Well, Nikki, digitally, maybe Comixology. In person, there's a guy named Doug that listens to our show that owns a comic store.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe you could go and visit him.
If you end up getting the Keanu one, let me know. I probably won't buy it, though. I probably won't read it.
No.
Because, again, I only like John Wick.
I have always thought it would be great if you and I would go to that comic shop and check it out.
Sure.
The Keanu book comes out.
That could be the time.
We go get that book at the comic place. It's perfect. Except it's postponed.
Oh, why don't you start with that?
Oh, no, I don't mean the comic. I mean, our trip.
I was like, wait a minute.
Our trip has to be postponed due to COVID-19.
So I'm sorry, did you say when this Keanu Reeves comic book series will come out?
I don't think I have a date on October this year.
October this year?
Berserker 2020, October this year.
And he's still doing cyberpunk stuff, like that game?
Well, he's in it.
He's not a main character, though.
He's not. He just kind of shows up from time to time, so who the heck knows, what he really is in that game. Cyberpunk was supposed to be out in April, postponed. Supposed to be out in August, postponed. September, postponed. And now November.
November should be good.
That's the word.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
You know what? Donuts sound pretty good today, don't you think?
Any day.
Is that what it is?
Absolutely what it is. Any day that sounds good.
I think it was Friday. Maybe. I think I've had a lot of donuts lately.
Well, we had an amazing listener drop some.
Neil.
Yeah, last week. So we've. Has there been other days?
You can't out Neil, Nikki.
Has there been other days you've been having donuts?
Yep. Okay. So I had to go to the doctor last week. That was on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. And that takes me by a donut place.
You always get one.
When I go to my doctor, I get a donut.
Do you remember when you were younger and you get like a little toy or something? Now you get a donut.
It was right by there. So, I mean, like, it's on my way home, and I just go for their drive-thru. I get one donut. It's 89 cents. You hand them $1, and then whatever. Okay, there's that. When I went through, the lady was like, I just threw a second one in there for you.
Oh, look at that.
She gave me 2 donuts.
Oh, my gosh. You had a big week last week.
I ate both of them.
Sure.
Thursday, on my way home, I was swinging by. I had to stop and get gas at a place.
What do they have at the gas station?
They get deliveries from a local bakery there. They have great donuts.
So you had that.
So I went ahead and had that donut. Then on Friday, Neil delivered some donuts.
Dropped by some donuts. So what did you have any yesterday or over the weekend?
No weekend donuts.
Oh, yeah, now your body's like...
I know.
Your body's used to it.
Like, as of today, I'm on my 4th consecutive day without a donut.
Your body's talking to you today like, aren't you supposed to have something?
Kind of hurting over here. I'm not going to lie to you.
Let me see your hands. Are you shaking? You're nervous.
Just, you know what? It's not a big deal. I just need a donut break.
Are you going to go today or are you going to hold out?
You know what? I might. I don't know. What am I holding out for? Like, have you thought about that? What are we saying no for?
We can't do that. We can't unpack things like that.
All right.
We cannot. We'll never try again. Like, we can't do it.
You know, in Chesterton's Orthodoxy, a book I haven't finished, he says that every society, like once we reach a certain peak, they begin to question primary things. And he says that once you start doing that, basically the system falls apart.
It's terrible.
And so what Nikki's saying is, just like G.K. Chesterton, Nikki says that if we begin questioning primary things, like you can't have a donut every day, it's all over.
It is. It's
over.
That's the downfall of you.
You can't
get it back.
Once you chip away the foundation, you have nothing to stand on.
Correct. And then you're like, what's the harm? The donut is just the first thing, and then the rest goes.
Are you sure? What if it's not?
Absolutely. It is, because that's how our body is.
You just have a French fry every now and again. See?
And then you're like, it's been 4 days.
I haven't had a donut or a French fry in 4 days. Today I'm having both.
You're having both?
Just kidding. I had French fries yesterday.
We're just supposed to notice these things and worry.
Yeah.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I realize I'm about to make some kind of political statement, but I tried to meet a friend for coffee yesterday. See, like, that's not yes, it is.
Well, wait for it. Why?
No, because, I mean, I went out in public. I'm not supposed to do that. Or, I don't know.
Well, it depends. Depends on where you're going and how close are you.
A friend of mine moved back to the area. It was like, hey, do you want to get together and have coffee? I was like, sure. But this is, honest to goodness, the first time I've tried to have coffee since March, like to meet a person for coffee. And I think part of the reason it's been that long is because of the pandemic, but also like I just didn't think we could. And so he's like, yeah, I'll just meet for coffee. So I was like, oh, he gave me permission to succeed by inviting me. So I was like, okay, we can meet at this one place. They were closed. All right, I'll meet you at Tim Hortons. Mm-hmm. So I got to Tim.
That's where you were talking about the donut yesterday.
I went in for the donut, right? And I was going to get a donut. I was going to get what do they do, like a 6-pack of Timbits and a coffee.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Seemed reasonable, not excessive.
But still something.
Yeah. And so I go in there and everybody just stares at me. I was like,
Did you not wear your mask?
Oh, no, I had my mask on. They were probably taken aback by how cool the RadioU mask was.
Stunning.
They were like, you know what? It's weird, but it's actually slimming.
You're a presence when you wear it.
It hides your double chin. You look great.
So what were they staring at?
Well, okay. If I was in there to use their dining room, and so I asked them, and their dining room is closed. But here's the problem, is on the door, and I am not making this up, you walk up to Tim Hortons, there are 2 doors, left door, right door. And you walk up, and on the left door is a sign that says, dining room is closed. On the right door is a sign that says dining room now open. Limit 16 people.
Sure.
Beneath, on the left side of the door where it says dining room closed, was a sign underneath it that said open. And above you go to the right-hand door and there's a sign that says open, and right below it was a sign that said closed.
So what is it?
And I told them that, and they acted like I was insane.
So you had what we call a Panda Express?
Yes!
Because we went to there and they did the same thing.
We did. We went to Panda and they have signs that say that it was open and you could eat inside.
It limit people, though.
Right. Well, you couldn't. And so I wasn't mean, unlike Michael, who we all know every time he opens his mouth, he's just mean.
Were mean, though, to everybody who was asking about it, though. They were pretty rude.
Okay. Well, I just said to him, I was like, hey, is the dining room open? And they're like, no. You can order it to go,
sure.
though. And I was like, well, do you guys know you have a sign out there that says the dining room's open? And it was like, hey, Johnny thinks he knows about the sign. Look at this dork with his mask on.
Were they not nice back?
No, it was just in fairness, they didn't say anything.
It was the body language.
It was the look that they gave me, all right?
What they say about the sign on the door, though?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
They just said the dining room was closed, and I left, and I just thought, I wanted to take the sign down and take it in and be like, look,
right here.
Read this sign.
Like when we went to Panda, I feel like there are people that don't want to open up the dining room that are working there, and so they're just ignoring it.
Oh, really?
That's kind of how I felt, because they were just so forceful back.
I love that.
Like even though the fact that the place might say it's okay, they're not doing it. That's how I took it.
I love the idea. You know what? I went to a frozen yogurt store last summer that they closed at 10. I went at 8, and they were like, yeah, we're not doing. Basically, they cleaned up and we're going to close. And they're like, you can't have anything.
It's like, wait, you're still open.
I was like, you guys are open. They're like, yeah, we're not doing anything. You can have, I'll give you some off the tap, and that's all you can have. Now get out.
Oh, it's fun times.
So I would love to know, has anybody met anybody for coffee successfully? We ended up going to McDonald's, and that's how I had the French fries.
Can you go into McDonald's?
Yeah, at least the one across the street from that Tim Hortons, you could go in and sit down.
I didn't know that.
I wore my mask. I used the mobile app for contactless delivery. Got some fries and a Coke. Used a coupon. Paid $2 for that magnificent feast.
I love it because, a few minutes ago, he was like, he has a story about how he was going to get a donut, but instead he got fries. And now it all makes sense.
See how it all connects?
It all connects. That's how you were going to get a donut, but you ended up with McDonald's.
Yeah. I don't know if it was a good story, but it was a story.
No, I think just tells you if you're also looking for a place to go in and they're not as friendly back at you, just don't worry about it. Just go to McDonald's? Is that what we're leaving?
I don't know what.
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
You know how we've been hearing a lot of different things about the coronavirus, but it's one of those things, it's been around long enough that I feel like most people, I exaggerate slightly, but I feel like, what? I'm going to die? I was going to die anyway. I'm still going to this restaurant. Whatever. People have become very flippant about it. Though I will tell you that I have discovered that flippancy takes a sudden left-hand turn when either they get it or someone that they know gets it.
Yeah, I think it depends on everybody.
Because for a lot of people, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal because you don't know somebody who has it. So I get that. But I want to talk about Grace. She's in the UK. She was hospitalized with COVID-19 in March. And guess what she's finding? It's causing her to lose her hair.
It seems like it's the worst. She was saying that she's lost 55% of her hair relatively quickly. This is not something where it seems like her hair was falling out when she had COVID.
Right.
But it's more like this is a possible side effect down the road, depending on your time during your recovery.
Right. Whoa.
It's a lot. She said she has to wear a wig now.
So just to be clear, I'm not making fun of this person. It's not that. But I feel like most people, I come at you like you could die and you're like, whatever, bro, come at me. Mm-hmm. But I say you could lose your hair and you'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, nobody said nothing about losing this mane, this beautiful society of hair that sits atop the crown. So I feel like that is legit something that people would be like, oh my gosh.
They're saying that other COVID patients, recovering patients that are coming forward saying that they also are experiencing hair loss, but it's not officially a side effect or anything that's been confirmed or correlated or anything, but they do think it's probably one or two things. One is when your body is so close to death with being so sick, it starts to shut down, and they say that it could be your hair follicles started to shut down to make your essential body parts actually function. Or depending on your temperature, if you sustain a high enough temperature for enough days, that can also do damage to your follicles. And then that can also cause hair loss down the road. So if you got super sick with anything that caused a very high temperature, you could see this as a side effect as well.
It's wild.
So it's probably one of those two things.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm washing my hands. I'm wearing my mask. I'm in. And you know what? Keep the sheeple comments coming.
No one's been that way. Everybody's been.
It's fine.
We're following it, and let's all be respectful to everybody.
Until you leave, and then I talk about you.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
I want to say hi again to Josh. We just wished him a happy birthday, and Nikki, he got a Switch for his birthday.
He did. He said everybody went together and got him that, so he was kind of looking into what game he should play first.
Now, he said maybe Mario Odyssey. Nikki, if you were to suggest one, let's say he can only have one Switch game, which game would you suggest?
Well, I played through Mario Odyssey, and I loved it, but it's been a while since I played it, so the warm, fuzzy feelings are probably gone.
They've gone.
They've gone out of me. And instead, Animal Crossing moved in. So I don't know if that's Josh's style, but I still play Animal Crossing every day. Every day.
You got to get your dailies.
You got to. But I don't know if that's the right suggestion as like the first game. When you say something Zelda?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that.
Breath, I continue to. Now, it's been, 3.5 years since I played through it, but Zelda Breath of the Wild, I think, is one of the best games ever.
So I think something outside of Mario or Animal Crossing, probably based on what everybody else says, too, that Zelda seems to be a great place to start.
Oh, it's so good.
But that's a good choice for your birthday gift.
I mean, not to just rattle off everything that's available, but you can't go wrong with Mario Kart. And then there are they've put so many older games that they've re-released on the Switch, like Skyrim. You can take Skyrim with you if you want.
Everything except the one I wanted,
which is Mario Galaxy?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hey, the rumors...
One or two.
Nikki, the rumors continue to float.
I know, they're just rumors.
That we will see Mario Galaxy by Christmas on the Nintendo Switch.
Well, they better not lie to me, so...
I'll tell you this, if they do that, I'm buying it.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sold.
So, okay, well, we're telling you then a couple of now games and then a couple of future games.
Yeah.
Maybe grab one of the older titles.
Now, Josh, the only thing that I want to say to you that is it's tough is that you're going to have to learn about the Switch tax.
Yeah.
If you don't know the Switch tax yet.
It's tough. Any game you want to buy, if it's on the Switch, it's way more.
Yeah. They're always like, hey, Skyrim, it's $5 on your Xbox, but it's $55 on your Switch.
You're like, why won't you go on sale?
Oh, we don't have to do that.
It's like in other places you'd go a convenience tax, that sort of thing, but here we call it the Switch tax.
It's real. It is real.
It's real and it hurts.
Yeah. So, again, happy birthday to Josh.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Radio U.
HBO Max.
Yes, and NBC's Peacock.
The Peacock.
Streaming services. Yay.
But you can't get them everywhere, Nikki.
When I signed up for HBO Max, that was the biggest thing for those first couple of days. And I use a Roku, which, by the way, free Radio U Roku app. Hello.
Hello.
But you don't get an HBO Max Roku app. And you also don't get one on Amazon Fire items.
You don't.
And that was a big source of disappointment for HBO Max, which did not have the best numbers, they said, when it's launched.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were mad because HBO Max did not disclose that it wasn't going to be on Roku or Fire, which are the two biggest streaming service devices.
I did not know that.
They are.
According to this article, Roku is the biggest.
It is, absolutely. And then Amazon stuffs, and then I think Apple TV behind it.
Yeah.
So people are mad.
I have an Apple TV and an Android TV, and it's available on both.
Mm-hmm.
I also have an Amazon Fire Cube. That was a long story.
Well, you try to have everything.
Yeah. And it is weird. What's funny is what I have found is that depending on which service you're watching, it's better on certain devices.
Yeah, that is.
So on the Amazon Fire Cube, you can still get HBO Go, I think it is, which your HBO Max subscription counts as that. That's going to get super nerdy in here, but that app does what they call frame matching through the Amazon version of it. And so it's less juddery when you watch it on TV. And so I usually watch, if I'm doing movies, I'll do it through that device instead of the Apple TV.
So people are mad that HBO Max wouldn't have service, the ability to watch on the two big, platforms. Then you go over to Peacock, and it's the same way. It cannot be on Roku or Amazon Fire stuff.
They're arguing over money, basically. Yeah. And you really have to get into the weeds to understand it, what that means and why. But some of it is Roku offers what they call channels, and so does Amazon Prime. And up until now, you were able to subscribe to HBO as a Roku channel. So they got a cut of that subscription. So now with this change, as I understand it, they wouldn't get a cut of that anymore.
Which is why they're not doing it.
And they don't like that.
And same thing with Amazon. I mean, Amazon Prime is technically a competitor to all these streaming services. But they're saying at this point, because they're both not on Roku or Fire stuff for Amazon, if you were waiting on HBO Max and Peacock to be on those, because it's taken so long, it's probably not going to happen, they're actually saying. They're saying they probably cannot get an agreement out of it.
Well, I will say this. While I really do enjoy HBO Max, I've watched, that has been the thing that has surprised me. I've watched a ton of the Turner classic movies that are on there. I've been watching the Miyazaki stuff. Like, I have found a bunch of things on there that I never thought I would find or be interested in. And so I've gotten a lot out of that. Here's my 1-2 word review of Peacock. It sucks.
Well, there's nothing. There's not a lot of content.
What a waste.
It's not very deep, but they're saying that this is turning people, if you are trying to use those, to game consoles to watch, or you're doing screen mirroring.
Sure.
But people only want to do that so much if you have set-top boxes already set up.
Well, if you're an idiot like me, I got so many things plugged into my TV.
But you're not normal. Most people do not
You guys heard that, right? You're not normal.
You're not normal. Most people don't have as many. Like, most people are more frustrated because they only have a Roku and they want to watch it that way.
Yeah. I mean, okay, just all that crap aside, Nikki, if you had to suggest one device to somebody that was going to go into, do streaming services, which one would you suggest?
I used Apple TV in the beginning, and I appreciate the complexity of it, and it's stunning, and it's more enhanced of a service. But for everyday, normal, lower price point, still Roku, I think, is top on it.
Apple TV's premium price point, it's the best.
It's better,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean that it's perfect for everybody.
Yeah, the reason Roku's so inexpensive is they have ads on it. There's just a little ad on the sidebar.
Doesn't bother.
It's fine.
Doesn't bother me.
If you listen to them, they're a fascinating company. They say they're not a service provider. They say they're an ad company.
Oh, really?
And that's why their devices are less expensive.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Let me see here. 3151 plus 1364.
What are you adding
71. I'm adding up how much money I spend on streaming services every month.
No, don't do that.
The discussion that we were just having made me go, what am I spending on streaming services right now? So here we go. HBO Max, $12.99. So let's just call it $13.
Sure.
Netflix, $18.
Yeah.
Because I pay for their 4K stream, and I may have a family member that leeches, but it's fine.
You're such a giver.
Philo.
You still pay? You pay for that?
Yeah. $20 a month?
$20 a month.
Okay, now keeping in mind that I do have roommates, so it's a pool.
Yeah, it's not going to be necessarily you're the reason for all of them.
Right. Amazon Prime, that's $13 a month. And then Disney Plus at 7. So, Nikki, 13 plus 18 is 31, plus 20 is 51, plus 13 is 64, plus 7 is $71.
Do you still pay for
every single month?
Do you still pay for the guide stuff for like the NVIDIA?
Okay.
There are other little things this can kind of go in and out.
I technically paid once a year I pay a $30 fee to the HD home run TV people, and I run my own antenna-based HDR in my house.
Let's say give or take $10 or so that we probably could all have that are like floating around of other things.
What am I doing?
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is that
you're making it.
Listen, if you told me, hey, for $70 you can have cable, I would be like,
that more than
screw
cable?
you.
That's more than cable, wasn't it?
I know. It is more than cable.
But you're not supposed to. You're at least not buying all the stuff you won't watch.
That's how
that was our big thing. He was like, we don't want all those channels.
That's where I'm at on Netflix. I don't watch anything on Netflix.
Well, I go back and forth.
I go over there and look at it, and then I just go
but you can't cancel. That's the original. You just can't.
I know. They know it too. Like, if anything's going to go, it's probably going to be HBO Max.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime with their stupid shipping, I can't let it go. I can't let go. Why can't I stop?
Listen, it's fine. This is just what you have to do. It's fine. It could be worse. I'm sure I have more than you.
This is embarrassing.
It's not so bad.
So, you know what it is that here's why it's so ridiculous, is that me doing this math, I rolled over in my sleep last night and just thought about it. I know that's weird, but I was like, how much am I actually paying for all this?
You thought of that last night?
In my sleep.
Weird.
It is weird. It's weird.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, I found this article, and everybody else, I want you guys to feel free to get in on it. Text us 877-2-RADIO-U. Nikki, it's just a bullet point from an article about morning show personalities.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Does it sound like us?
Here we go. Morning show on-air personalities can be difficult to coach and can be difficult to keep focused.
Maybe. I'm pretty focused, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know about that part, but sure, maybe.
Difficult to coach? Oh,
probably. Yeah. I think we all are.
You mean everybody or just you and me?
I think you and me.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a trait of this.
I mean, you could coach Nikki, and she's going to spend the whole time trying to show you that you're wrong.
You're the one that needs the coaching.
You're the one that's actually wrong.
But that's a trait.
Some of the best on-air personalities have issues that go far beyond your scope of coaching. I think that means mental health.
You think so?
And we all know I have problems. So, like...
Is there anything else they say?
No, I'm not done.
Okay, because, I mean, there's way more stuff.
Despite this, they are intelligent.
Yeah? I think so.
Maybe. Let's just say not.
Hey,
we're not stupid.
We're too intelligent
I can read.
For the normal scale on how they judge that.
That's what it is. Just because I have test anxiety doesn't mean I'm stupid. Okay, whatever. We're committed to excellence.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We're committed. I mean, obviously, we've done this show for a long time. We're super committed, but I think
very committed.
Excellence is a strong word.
I don't know how comfortable I am with that. Beginning to feel my anxiety kicking up.
That puts pressure.
We have a strong work ethic.
Yeah, I think we do.
More than you probably think.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep showing up. That is a strong work ethic.
We have a strong Riot show work ethic.
Other things.
But for this, we'll give it our all.
Okay, a keen sense of right versus wrong when it comes to their audience.
Sure.
So I think that means that if somebody came and said, hey, we want to do blank and we didn't think it would fit.
Oh, yeah,
we would
know
be
no. We have a pretty good idea of what you guys like and don't like. And you tell us when you like or don't like.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing. Okay, and here is the last one. They hear a party in their head that no one else was invited to attend.
Oh, where's Party Bear music? Please tell me, where's your party bear? We have music. We have music that we hear in our head all the time. Dude, it's a party.
It's that last line that terrifies me because it's so spot on. Like, Obadiah's got a party in his head that nobody can hear. It's true. I
can hear it.
I mean, and I'm not going to say when you think party, you think like a good time. No, that just means a group of people. And I got a real dinner conversation just happening in there all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good list. This is a list someone wrote about like morning show DJs.
It is. They're talking about, specifically about how to work with morning show people.
Yeah. I don't feel like it really got into the negative, pessimistic sort of, things that we can also be.
I think, okay.
Seems like a lighter list than I thought it would go.
I think difficult to coach.
Oh, is that following
That's a euphemism.
Okay.
That is a euphemism for egotistical.
Negative.
Like, there's a lot to that.
Yeah, I mean, we just know how it is, which is also
come on. Listen. So sit down, kid. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, well, interesting list.
Yeah. So it's the party in the head that got to me. It really got to me.
I don't hear anything else yet, so that worries me. Does that come later or the party in the head?
No, I think you're blessed.
I hear you all the time in my head.
Well.
But that just comes from being around someone so much.
There's something to that.
So if we want to call that a party, that's fine.
The thing is, though, like I have 3 or 4 different Nickis that live in my head. The real Nikki, the show Nikki, the Nikki that only talks to Eric. Like, those ones, they all live in there.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
You might get arrested from farting so loud. That's plausible.